Ronald McDonald House, New York City's Musical Magic program. This is a special St. Patrick's Day edition, and I am Danielle Enblom, joined by Danny Diamond. We're coming to you from the Twin Cities of St. Paul and Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we're going to do some Irish music and dancing with you today.
As we say in Irish, Shannon cúpla port, I'll play a couple of tunes, agus by Danielle ag rinke, agus ag múna livse, she'll be dancing and teaching you all a few steps.
Danny, was that Irish that you were just speaking?
It was, yeah. So this music that we're going to play and dancing that we're going to show to you and teach you today comes from Ireland, and the old kind of indigenous culture of Ireland has its own language too, which is Irish, and I spoke a few words just there. Some other fun words to know are ceol, which is music, dausa or rinke, which is dance, port, which I mentioned already in the first little bit I said, which is a tune or a piece of music, and fiddle is the fiddle.
And so people at home can also introduce themselves to us. Would you tell us how you say my name is in Irish?
Absolutely. Is Misha Danny.
It's Misha Danielle. You can give it a try at home too. And then how about this? I know that sometimes we count ourselves in when we're playing or dancing, and I think it would be really fun for everybody to count us in together in Irish. Would you teach us a few numbers in the Irish language?
Absolutely, yeah. So for the tune we're going to do today, which is a jig, you just need 1, 2, 3, which is hain, do, tree.
Hain, do, tree. All right, let's learn to dance an Irish jig. Now, in a moment, I will put my dance shoes on. These are my shoes, and they're just a nice kind of standard shoe with a nice hard leather sole and a little heel, which is kind of my favorite shoe to dance in. But you'll see Irish dancers or percussive dancers wearing tap shoes that have metal taps, or shoes that have kind of a big hard toe on them. A lot of Irish dancers wear those. But once upon a time, these were kind of the regular shoes that everybody wore all the time to walk around with a nice little leather sole and a little heel. And so when people were learning to dance 200 years ago, nobody had any special dance shoes. There were no special dance halls. People, or like dance studios, people really just danced in their homes with what they had. And it was shoes like these. And so the dancing developed with shoes like these. But you can dance really in whatever you have. So I'm going to teach the dance first, just in my bare feet, so that you can try along. If you want to put on a special pair of shoes, though, you're welcome to. And Danny's going to play his fiddle. Will you tell us a little bit about your instrument?
Sure, yeah. So the fiddle is the same thing as the violin. This always causes confusion. Some people think it's a different instrument. The fiddle is really just what people who play folk music, you know, like American folk music, any different type of folk music or Irish music, call the instrument. A violin is what classical musicians call it. It's got 4 strings. You play it with a bow, which has got horsehair on it, which is what draws across the string and makes the sound come out, essentially. These instruments have been made the same way by hand since like the 1600s. Really great to play something that is such a long old tradition, and this is what it sounds like.
And Danny, you mentioned that it's a long old tradition, and this music is really passed down from person to person. Who did you learn to play your fiddle from?
I learned from various people over the years. My parents, I was lucky that my grandfather and both my parents also played this like traditional Irish music as well, so it was always around when I was young.
So let's go ahead and learn how to dance an Irish jig. Now, a jig is a dance type, and it's also a tune type. And a jig tells us that the tune and the dance are counted in 6. So you get 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So 2 3s equal 6. This is a jig. So we're going to break up this dance, into just a couple of 3s at first. So our dance is just going to start off with a 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. This is a jig. So we're gonna jump on the 1, pause on the 2, 3, and then at the very end we'll do a big jump all together. Shall we try it? Will you count us in Irish?
Sure, of course. Hain, do, tree.
This is a jig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. So that's really 7 jumps and then a jump on the 8. Now, most Irish tunes have 2 parts. An A part and a B part, or just 2 parts. And that was the first part. Now for the second part, we're going to do a little bit of a trickier dance. So if you want to pause this video and practice what we just did, you can, and then you can continue on when you're ready. All right, now let's try the second part of the tune, and we'll do a little bit of a trickier dance for this one. Now this is a dance step that goes back a long ways, back 200 years ago to the days of the traveling dancing masters. Now these were some of the originators of the dancing that we know today as Irish dancing, and they all had their own styles. And they would travel around and people would learn to dance in their steps and styles. And let's go ahead, I'm just going to teach the dance first, and then we'll try it slowly to music. So this step goes like this. We start out with a hop together, and we put 1 foot in front. And then we're going to lift our knee and do another hop. And I always like to say, let's take a moment and practice balancing. And we usually have a little tea party here, pour some tea. What kind of tea are you drinking? What tea would you drink, Danny, if you were having a tea party right now?
I drink peppermint tea.
Oh, peppermint tea. All right, I'm gonna have chamomile, or as Irish people say,
chamomile.
Chamomile. But so here's our nice tabletop. And then this foot is ready to have a little break from being in the spotlight, so it's gonna hide behind the other foot and do a little dance. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the entire first move of this jig step, and we're going to do it 3 times. And let's just try that 3 times with the B part of the tune.
Super.
Hain, do, tree. Together. Up, hop, back, 2, 3, 4. Front, up, back, 2, 3, 4. Front, up, back, 2, 3, 4. And crisscross, applesauce. All right, thanks, Danny. So feel free to stop and practice as much as you want to, or just continue on and just play around with the music with us. Now we're going to put all of it together. So for the very end, we're going to do a little performance that I'd like to invite you to join us in. And Danny is going to play this tune. Do we know the name of this tune?
The first one is called The Priest in His Boots.
All right, so we're going to play that tune first and do the dance we just did, with our A part being the leaps with the jump at the end, and with our B part being that Irish dancing master jig step. And then Danny's gonna go into a second tune, and I'm gonna just play around and have some fun with my rhythms. And you're welcome to keep on doing the dances you learned, or play around with me. And you'll notice I move my arms when I dance, and you might notice that some Irish dancers keep their arms at their sides. Well, modern step dancers in competition keep their arms at their sides, so you can try that if you want. But in the old days, there were lots of different ways to dance, and I like moving my upper body, so that's how I dance. I'm going to put my shoes on. You can stay barefooted or find a nice little pair of shoes to wear yourself. What's the second tune name, Danny?
I think it's called Nicanawan Bana, which is like the white-haired Canavans
All right.
in Irish. Canavans is a family name, in case you didn't know what a Canavan was.
Well, thank you all for joining us, and thank you to the Ronald McDonald House, New York City, for having us. And Danny, how do you say thank you and goodbye in Irish?
Thank you is Gurmaihagat, and goodbye is Slán, which actually means health. It's like Slán Lat, good health to you.
Wonderful. Good health to you, and Gurmaihagat for joining us.
Slán got dinner. Hain, do, tree.